Ready to start round 9 of the championship. The British Grand Prix gets underway. Closest to the camera, the familiar red and white hull of OSG Donsey. You can see the grey form there of Kyton starting strongly. And the Supersport class looks like Ocean Dragon have a great start, but they've already got a couple of their rivals in front of them as we see the sea for the first time here in the Solent. Well, today's conditions relatively flat, and that'll mean very fast running. And there goes Fame Blast chasing Kite on the two Metamarine hulls, rivaling OSG for speed here. And Kerakoll coming up in the spray behind the Donsey hull. Kerakoll with a lot of work to do now to try and re-establish themselves as the pace setters in the series. And of course, with Toraya not here, Donsey hoping to capitalise as well. Giancarlo Cangiano bouncing up and down in the throttleman seat aboard Donsey as they round the second mark, already with a slight advantage over Kerakoll. Kerakoll not able to turn quite as tightly as their class rivals. Fame Blast in third, already ahead of Kyton, making their now traditional cautious opening lap start. Here's the Supersport class. No mistaking that slim lead profile of Jolly Special. Carpenter closest to the mark, just holding second as Arpro powers around the turn. Ocean Dragon in fourth place, ahead of Chaudron and the wildcard Bootsy Bullet. OSG streaking away at the lead of the Evolution class at the moment. Kerakoll not able to hold a candle to them in this fast, flat going. And we've got a great race at the head of the Supersport field. That's Arpro now up to second, chasing Jolly Special. They've just overhauled Carpenter, who had a really cracking start. And chasing Carpenter, this is fourth place Ocean Dragon. Carpenter very close indeed. Jolly Special past the huge spectator flotilla. Arpro there in second. Carpenter much closer to the mark. And Ocean, well, still bouncing around in the chop on the chase. Martin Lai's Dragon Dance may well help him in the championship, but at the moment he needs a little bit more rough weather perhaps. Around the mark comes our race leader. Kerakoll closing on the straight, but look how much tighter OSG Donsey can turn. Really getting great drive off the corner. Fantastic effort out in the lead. They're out in front, and that's exactly where they want to stay. Kerakoll with a much wider rounding of the mark, and just look how much ground they lost. They were barely a second or two behind up to the mark, and they must have dropped about a 10-second margin rounding that one turn. Supersport lead, here we go. Look at Arpro coming in tight behind Jolly Special. Jolly making heavy weather of the turn with Carpenter dropping away in third. Arpro, Mike Shelton and Jackie Hunt really pushing hard for a home win here at the home of British power boating. They live just across the water in Southampton, and this would be the most fantastic result for them if they could pull it off. With OSG in the spray, and they're catching the wildcard Bootsy Bullet, who's in the Supersport class, of course. The Evolution boat's faster, more powerful. Leaden skies overhead. The warnings of storms for day 2 of the weekend may yet come true, but good running here as the Supersport class is engulfed now by the speed of our Evolution leader. OSG streaking away from Kerakoll and continuing to lead at their own pace. And here in the chilly waters of the English Channel, the Solent between the mainland and the Isle of Wight, no problems for anyone with engine overheating from the sea being too hot. Probably just the other. You might want an immersion seat if you have to get in there. Kerakoll again wide of the mark and around the mark. They just can't match OSG's ability to cut through the water. And try as they might, Arpro still second in Supersport, can't quite rein in Jolly Special. Carpenter hanging right in there as well, losing no ground to the leaders. Ocean Dragon can't quite get any closer either. Well, Ocean only took the lead of the series for the first time after Gallipoli from Arpro, and at the moment that looks likely to be reversed. Chaudron just 10 points behind Arpro, also looking to move up in the standings. Hang on a minute, what's going on here? Jolly Special has nearly missed the mark. They were way off course, and they've had to slow dramatically. Everybody behind us checked up, but Carpenter were close enough to take advantage. This is Carpenter for the lead. Jolly Special coming back at them, and that's a big navigational error. They've already been round the course once in that position. They really shouldn't have made that mistake, and that will allow R-Pro and Martin Lai's Ocean Dragon, if they can see anything in the spray, to get closer. There are R-Pro around Carpenter. Second position up for grabs. The Brits are going to try and take it with both hands. The opportunity offering itself, but great fight back from Carpenter. Inside line at the mark. Better acceleration off the turn. And crossing the wake, R-Pro eat their spray. So somehow Jolly survived that major mistake. Carpenter just nosed in front for a moment but couldn't hold it. Jolly had the pace off the turn, but R-Pro versus Ocean Dragon might be the next moment of drama. Martin Lai's crew closing fast and looking for third place to try and hold on to their points lead. Jolly, Carpenter, R-Pro just surviving in third place. What a scramble from that navigational error. And Carpenter on the stretch again looking fast. Out of the action, out of the excitement, I'm afraid, the Maltese. They're back down in fifth position, having a lonely race on their own. Wildcard, first time out in Powerboat P1, Sunseeker from across the water in Poole in Dorset. Oh, and over racing out of round 9 of the series. 4-1, down in 7th position in their rib, feeling the pace, feeling the mileage. Feeling no pain, at least he won't be when he sees the checkered flag. Our Evolution leader, Giancarlo Cangiano, chasing that historic third British Grand Prix win. Right behind him, though, Mario Invernizzi and Giovanni Capitella in Kerakoll, still piling on the pressure after disappointment for ISOTTA at home. They'd like to try and win in the home of powerboating at Cowes. Passing Amici Due through the spray comes our leader. Third place still for Fame Blast, winning that private battle between the Metamarine hulls. They've left Kyton in their wake, and after the Kyton crew made their cautious early start, they have not been able to reel in the white boat in front. Well, it's anything but dull in Supersport at the moment. Great battle on their hands, Jolly Special and Carpenter. And look, R-Pro again closing off the mark. But in these conditions, there seems to be no catching Jolly Special. Everyone else will certainly have to hope for a change in the weather. Not least Chaudron really struggling in these conditions. OSG, though, quite happy with the way things are going, unquestionably. Well, third place for Fame Blast would really boost them in the championship standings, with Taraya not here and Kyton just 100 points ahead. This weekend, if it's successful for Fame Blast, could allow them to close right up on their Metamarine rivals for that third spot in the championship. In front of OSG, more open water, but close behind still Kerakoll. And Kyton left wondering what they can do about the pace of Fame Blast. It's an identical hull, similar engines, they just can't find the pace. Great battle here though in Supersport. We saw it from onboard Ocean Dragon as they close on Carpenter and on R-Pro. Jolly Special now making the lead their own. We have a three-way tussle for second. Who's first around the mark? First at it was Carpenter. Great crossover move there. R-Pro cutting inside, trying to take away that inside line, but Carpenter with great drive off the mark, really streaking away, and Ocean not quite able to accelerate the same. Come on, come on. Here we go. This is a great drag race for the spectators, massed on the shore and in the flotilla of spectator boats. Look how close they are to the racing. They could almost reach out and touch them, and no, that's disaster for our third place team, Chaudron. They've pulled up short. So Jolly Special still leading from R-Pro, and they're now together pulling away from that close battle for third. Barely a boat length between them in either direction, forward or sideways. Aaron Siantar has managed to work some magic. He's lost his neck brace, but he's gained his engines again. That is great news. Chaudron rolling once more as through the battle for third in Supersport comes the race leader with Ocean. And there is 4-1, still fighting the aging process for man and machinery. They just won't give up. Kyton rounds the mark, a little lost at sea. It's a bit of a lonely race for them back in fourth position. But it's the points that matter for Maurizio Di Stasio, Dario Longo and Giuseppe Salvatore. Well, Chaudron do seem to be